I'm so bored.
There's nothing to do.
I know. What? Try it. Hey, I know what to do.
We're gonna watch Scooby-Doo! What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this first video. I don't know whether to call it an episode or a video, but welcome to this first iteration. Sure.
That works.
There we go. Okay, so this is a new video series that I wanted to do. It kind of like came to me. Well, so I've been listening to podcasts, and I listened to a Scooby-Doo podcast, and he was like talking about how there's not much behind the scenes stuff of Scooby-Doo, you know, because it's aimed towards kids, and so kids don't care about it and whatever, like about that stuff. They just want to watch the show. But for the Scooby-Doo fans that have grown up and whatever, we want to hear the backstories now and whatever. Anyways, it made me think about, you know, even just on YouTube, there's not a lot of Scooby-Doo, just pure discussion videos. Like, you look them up and either they're making fun of Scooby, or they're like just special features that are already on DVDs. I don't know. It's just there's not a ton of content about Scooby. So I wanted to start this video series, and I have Mariah that's gonna do it with me because she was so nice to agree.
And watch Scooby.
Yeah, right. So what we're gonna do for this video series is we're going through every Scooby episode and movie that has ever been created.
Wait, what?
Sorry, did I not tell you that? And we are, in a way, gonna review it, but more or less just open discussion it, if that makes sense. So we just want to talk about it, and then we want you guys to leave comments down below about that particular episode or movie, that what you guys thought about it and whatever. I just want to make this video series to open a discussion about Scooby-Doo, because I feel like people aren't willing to just talk about Scooby-Doo very much. So, for this first episode, obviously, we're gonna watch the very first episode, What a Night for a Night. It aired September 16th, 1969. That was 40-something years ago now. So each episode we're gonna watch, each episode or movie, and you're gonna see kind of our reaction-ish of each one. Me, I've seen most of these at least half a dozen times. I don't know what Mariah has seen, so some of this might be brand new to her. And then we will just talk about it and see what we thought about each episode and whatever. But first, I wanted to put this out there. What makes Scooby-Doo Scooby-Doo? So leave your comments down below what you guys think makes Scooby-Doo Scooby-Doo. So like for me personally, obviously you have to have Scooby-Doo, otherwise you can't have Scooby-Doo. The Mystery Machine I feel like needs to be in it, because that's almost become like a character in itself, because they drive it everywhere, and so if it's not in it, it's almost like you're forgetting a character. For me, also I like to have Scooby snacks in them, because that was like one of the very first things they introduced. And so if there's not Scooby snacks, then how do you ever bribe the cowards? I don't know, it fits. Like, yeah, Anyways. But for me personally, I don't feel like Fred, Daphne, or Velma have to be in it to be Scooby-Doo. I mean, they're great additions, I love the characters, but I've seen episodes where they aren't in it, and it's worked, where it's just been like Scooby and Shaggy and maybe Scrappy or other characters, and it's worked still, but at the same time, they weren't solving a mystery in those episodes, so if they're solving a mystery, then yeah, the other three should be in it, but if they're not, then I don't feel like they are very needed, if that makes any sense. But I love the characters nonetheless. I would rather have them in it than not, but I don't feel like they are needed every single time. Anyways, I don't know, that's kind of what makes Scooby-Doo to me. Obviously you have to have a villain, otherwise what's the point of Scooby-Doo? Otherwise they just kind of be sitting there in the mall shop doing nothing. Anyways, do you have any thoughts on this? What makes Scooby-Doo Scooby-Doo to you? That was a lot of do too.
Let's go.
Whoa. Mine are kind of more simple, but that's because I grew up watching some of it, but I haven't seen a lot of them. But the things I think about when I think of Scooby-Doo is like, this is like kind of silly, but like when like they run in place for a few seconds before going, I think of that. And then I also think of obviously a villain, like they're all working together to find the villain. And I always think of Shaggy and Scooby like eating way more food than humanly possible, and it's just I always thought it was hilarious as a kid. And I also think of like Velma losing her glasses and trying to find them. Just things like that is what I think of.
Another thing lots of people say that should be in a Scooby is they call it the romps, but basically it's the chase scenes where there's music and they're just running around chasing the villain or the villain's chasing them, whatever.
Yeah.
To me, I don't feel like that's needed because they didn't actually start with that. That kind of came as they moved on with the show. But you know, that's one of those little things that's fun to see when they do it. But lots of do's going on here.
Scooby-Doo.
Anyways, is that all? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. So we are going to watch What a Night for a Night, and we will then discuss it. So here we go. Let's start this episode. Are you ready to see the very first episode
Yes, I'm excited.
ever created?
Yes. It's been so long. I love it already.
Ooh. Suspense. Piracy is not a victimless love. It's a crime, that's all we're saying. Look at that animation.
I remember this intro.
They wrote this theme song like 2 days before the show aired.
Yes.
Yep, 101 right there.
This part I remember too.
Yes. One night for a night. The puns.
And all because you had to stay and see Star, Dog Ranger of the North Woods, twice.
No friends.
Oh yeah, I remember they had like laughing in the background. And stuff.
Yeah, in
I
the
forgot
original
about
show.
We come back.
Laugh track.
Wait.
Hold on to your loops.
that. Holding on.
Made only in
I don't
England.
have hula hoops.
Archaeologists.
Back when they had to go to the library.
Before the internet.
Rip.
This place is locked up tighter than a drum.
Well,
And like
obviously,
how
it's
easy-
nighttime.
Easy. A Scooby snack?
There's a Scooby snack.
Yeah, see?
Okay, two it is.
Ew.
These always look so good.
I think they explain what they're made of eventually. Can't remember. Okay, we finished the first one.
Yay.
Do you have any overall thoughts first? I mean, that was the beginning of everything.
Yeah, I remember watching that one as a kid, and it just like, I don't know, it was kind of nostalgic. I was like, I remember that part, and like the glasses, and like, I don't know, it was cool.
I always remembered well, it ended up being the professor, but like the dude creeping on him always creep me out. I'm like,
Yeah.
there is a creeper and y'all don't know. Okay, so the villain for this one was the Black Knight, which is considered their very first case. Even though Fred says another mystery in this one, it's still considered their very first one. So what did you think of the Black Knight as a villain? Not the guy that was him, but like just as a villain. Was he scary? Was he creepy at all? Or was he just funny? Or
It's interesting because I remember as a kid, I actually it's freaked me out. I was like, it's this creepy knight
true?
walking around. But obviously now I'm just kind of like, it wasn't like scary,
Yeah.
but it was. I don't know. It was just interesting.
Mm-hmm. Now the Black Knight, like, to me, well, for me personally, since I grew up watching the show, that's one that I think of when we talk about Scooby-Doo. Like, that's a villain I think of, especially because he came back in Scooby-Doo Tube. I don't know. He's just like the original villain, and I don't know. He's a classic to me of
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo. He's a classic villain to me. But overall, yeah, I don't think I ever thought, oh, he's creepy or anything, but I did like that he never really said anything. I mean, he kind of grunted and whatever.
Yeah, just roar.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like if he was to talk, that would have kind of lowered his kind of creepiness in a way. I don't know. Yeah, how he was in his suit. I felt like he shouldn't talk.
Yeah.
Like that.
I think it's kind of like you don't want it to seem like a human.
Yeah.
They want it to just be like this creature or something. I think that's why.
Okay, so since this is the first episode, let's talk about the characters. Obviously, the game. How did you feel about each one? We'll start with Fred and go down to Scooby. So, Fred, how did you think of him? Very beginning.
Let me think.
Because they will change as the show goes on, obviously.
Yeah, I kind of because I kind of remember also as a kid, but I remember him being the person that kind of would like suggest some of the like things, like and also Daphne too. They kind of both like she noticed the paint,
Yeah.
the blood paint, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, if that's blood, that's a clue.
And they both kind of would actually do solving, and then Velma would know. I'm not skipping ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. That's perfectly
Go for it.
fine.
Yeah, Velma would kind of just know things and also help. And then I just remember Shaggy and Scooby just kind of running around
Yeah.
and being afraid and then eating.
True.
So I think as far as my thought just ran away from me. Again, from what I remember when I was a kid, it's similar to how it is now. They're just kind of all doing their own thing.
So, for me, I feel like in the very beginning, Fred is a lot more mature. I feel like now, like how they portray Fred is he's this very controlling person. Like if he's not the one controlling stuff, then he goes whack type of thing. So it's not that I prefer one iteration over another, but I just feel like the beginning Fred is very more mature because they're all between age 15 and like 17 throughout the whole thing. So I don't know, that's kind of interesting. But
yeah,
Daphne, to me personally, I felt like Daphne was always the most useless character. No offense to her, but she was always the one that was getting in trouble, like the damsel in distress is what they would call her. But the thing is, like, what we'll see in the other episodes is she would get into trouble or get trapped or something, but she was always the girl that was like, I ain't waiting for them to come get me, like, I'm gonna get out of this myself. And so, I don't know, it was, like, she kind of seemed useless, but at the same time, she was kind of a good role model for girls watching the show, because even though she would get trapped, she was just always like, oh, well, get out of this, like, I don't need to wait for them to come save me or something. And then Velma, I feel like, is necessary because she was always the one that was figuring it out and whatever, and would figure out who the villain was and whatever. And then yeah, Shaggy and Scooby, obviously, they're the comedy relief of the show.
Definitely.
Like obviously the show is supposed to be kind of spooky, but they're supposed to be the ones that make you laugh when you're in suspense and whatever. Which, you know, obviously I like that. You can't have Scooby without Shaggy, and you can't have Shaggy without Scooby. And I felt like this episode, though, they weren't as hungry as they usually are, and obviously this was the beginning, so they were dipping their toes and stuff, seeing what worked and whatever. Oh, they brought up Scooby snacks though.
They did.
So they had Scooby snacks.
They had 2 Scooby snacks.
Scooby did. Shaggy didn't.
Oh yeah.
Only Scooby. But yeah, so I don't know. What did you think of the setting, like the museum? Like, did you think it fit the mystery, or was it just kind of a weird? Like I don't know. How did you think the museum was?
I think it fit because like the night was being shipped because it was like a piece of history kind of, but also I think it was, in general, museums I guess can be creepy. Like,
yeah.
I think it's an easy place to make it seem like a spooky scenario. So
Yeah.
I think it worked.
Yeah, I feel like that was a good starting point for it. Because like you think like, oh, or you would automatically go to a haunted house or like a castle or something.
An insane asylum.
Yeah, like, and so I don't know, I like that they didn't just go straight to that route. They kind of played with something for a minute and tried a museum, which can be creepy, I guess, you know. Obviously I've never been there when it's closed out or something, but you know. And yeah, obviously it fit the night because it was being shipped and whatever. Did you think the villain was who he was? Or did you not know? I mean, obviously I knew because I've seen this one a bunch of times.
Yeah, I think I remembered it being the one guy, so but I remember as a kid I was never able to guess who it was, if that even matters.
Yeah.
I just
Makes sense. Okay, so now that we've kind of discussed our thoughts on this episode, leave me your thoughts down in the comments down below. Let's have a discussion. That's what I want this video series to be, is a discussion. So leave them down below. Before we move on though, I want to quickly discuss what are you looking forward to, I guess. Like, what do you want to see in the future now? Now that we've started, what else do you want to see? Obviously this was the first one, so it's, you know, you could go anywhere.
anywhere.
Anywhere. They could go to Mars.
Whoa. Solving mysteries in space. I think as of now, I'm just excited to see, I guess, more development of the characters. If that makes sense. Like I'm excited to see more, because I know I know eventually Shaggy and Scooby are gonna. I just remember them eating like stacks of food, like a giant sandwich. I think of. I'm excited to see that, and also the development, I guess, and just seeing where it goes. So far it's not like I don't have any set expectations, so that's kind of where I'm at, I think, with it.
This question is kind of hard for me since I've seen almost everyone as we go, but for me personally, like I'm excited for the future villains, I guess, because I feel like they, you know, tried like different villains and kind of saw what's spooky, what's funny and stuff, and I know as the show goes on, they get really creative with the villains and whatever. And there's some that are like really cool and they look cool and whatever, and then obviously there's some that you're just kind of like, oh, okay. But I don't know. For me personally, I mean, since I've already seen these, I kind of know what happens and whatever. But I'm excited to see the future villains because I feel like they get better, and obviously character development, like she said. But I kind of know how they develop as it goes on, so I can't exactly say what I hope for because I know already kind of what happens. But so yeah, we're gonna leave that there. You guys can put down in the comments below your thoughts. Like I said, again, I want this to be a discussion video series. So yeah, if you guys liked this first video, hit that like button. Like. And if you're new here, press subscribe so you don't miss any of these videos or any of my other videos, I'm hoping to do this one every Saturday, every week, every Saturday. So hopefully this will be a standard thing that we do as long as Mariah is up for it. And that we can keep making it and producing it and whatever. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this first video. Let me know while you're commenting, your discussion, whatever, what you thought of this format, and put any suggestions down, what you think we could talk about more, or what we could do to change it, or whatever. Just put your thoughts how this video went too. So, anyways, guys, thank you for watching the first one, and until next time, we will Scooby-Doo you later. I don't know how to end that, but okay.
With camera.